Bring about the inflation you're talking about, because basically all you're saying is, as far as the socialist programs, the economy is still very weak and it's slow, and basically social programs are obviously suppressing the velocity of money, suppressing lending, and suppressing any kind of real economic activity. Is this kind of inflation not a few years off, or at least in some ways in the future?
Okay, so the question is, when's this inflation going to hit? It's hard. I can give you a conditional answer. It's going to hit whenever those reserves that are jacked up in the banking system start getting lent out. Now the question is, okay, well, when will that happen? I'm surprised it didn't happen already. I thought the Obama administration was going to lean on the banks to make loans, because you had talk of that a few months ago when people were saying, "What the heck? We gave you guys $700 billion, and you're just sitting on it. So what's the what do we do that for?" And so I thought they were going to pressure them.
Mostly to improve their own capital, their own
right, exactly. So it's the banks, they're not doing it out of viciousness. They're doing it because they fix their balance sheets and so forth. So let me put it this way: once the inflation starts, it will snowball very quickly, because once other investments start yielding 5 or 6%, the little interest rate that the Fed's paying banks to keep their money with them isn't going to be attractive, and they'll start lending out, because they can charge higher interest rates elsewhere. Because right now, it's in this weird, stable equilibrium point, because interest rates are so low, inflation expectations are so low that interest rates are low, and so it makes sense to sit on cash or to keep your reserves in a checking account that pays a very low rate of interest. But if that situation changed for whatever reason, then it would quickly snowball. That you don't want to sit on your cash when there's 10% inflation, but if you think there's going to be 1% inflation, you don't mind sitting on your cash.
Before Ms. Thompson, thanks Dr. Murphy. One thing I forgot to say in the introduction is the Nassau Institute is a non-profit. It's a very small budget, but we do need to rent the hall. We pay Dr. Murphy to fly down, and just you coming is really compensation enough, because the board, myself, value the information getting out. It's not heard by anybody in government anywhere else. So we have a small box in the back. You can give donations. You don't have to. It's not compelling. But if you help us run, we can put more events like this on. Thanks.
My thanks to everybody for coming. We appreciate it, and I know you've heard something tonight. Maybe you haven't thought about it, maybe you have thought about it, but maybe I hope you know more about it now. I'm quite certain you do. And Bob, there are two things that come to my mind as you're speaking, thinking of the Roosevelt administration and now the Obama administration. Roosevelt had his brain trust. Remember those really smart guys who were fixing everything? Well, we've got Larry Sumner and we've got Mr. Geico up there fixing everything. Where is the problem? The problem, I think, is sometimes people think they have the answers and they're just missing. They don't see the forest for the trees. It's not that simple, but there's something missing here when people think they have all the answers. And it's interesting that we have these two comparable situations in what we are now Depression, Recession, and in the Great Depression. But in any case, that's what came to my mind. But anyway, what this is, I found it exceedingly, I hope everybody is going to get a book here and read more about it and discuss it among yourselves, your friends. And I think one thing is we're all a bit very concerned. Well, we're all very concerned. You wouldn't be here tonight if you weren't concerned. But one of the best ways to help allay any fears you might have is to become informed. And there's some kind of relief when you begin to understand what's going on. Now, we have a lot of people in our audience here tonight who are Institute supporters, who do look at the Bahamian economy, and I'm sure you've benefited from Dr. Murphy's talk tonight. And I want to make a little gift to Dr. Murphy from the directors of the Institute, because this is a book on the Bahamas, and Michael Toogood's photos, and our great pleasure to take something back.
Thanks a lot.
Could have put a bit of sand in it.